and welcome to another exciting edition of Campus Connection Spring 2009. I'm Ariel Yamin.
And I'm Chasta Nekvatal. On today's show, we will discuss how Cal State Long Beach students can find healthy foods at a reasonable price and physical activities to enhance wellness. We will also take a look at why students are making last-minute changes to their spring break plans.
Later in the show, we will learn ways on how to gain sustainability and being efficient. We'll also investigate why traffic in Los Angeles is so bad.
But first, let's see what the #1 question for change is on President Obama's agenda. Here's Nicole Ramirez with more on the issue.
The use of medical marijuana has been a controversial topic since days of prohibition. People have not been properly educated on the effects of medical marijuana.
Marijuana really is medicine. It benefits a lot of people. We have cannabinoid receptors in our brain, just like we have opiate receptors. Our bodies are meant to have cannabis and they respond to them, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Prescription cannabis has been known to have soothing properties for patients with a wide variety of illnesses, including cancer and glaucoma.
I'm a big supporter. I'm not a modest supporter. I am a big proponent of medicinal marijuana. How dare we when someone is suffering the indignities of infirmity and cancer and the like.
Prescription cannabis works just as well, and in some cases is superior to other prescription medicines currently on the market. Unlike prescription pills, medical marijuana is not known to be an addictive drug.
There are no addiction properties for cannabis, and that's unlike most other pain medications that we actually prescribe. You don't get addictive. There are no withdrawal symptoms.
Patients can go to their local dispensary to fill their medical marijuana prescription. On average, the dispensaries have 40 different strains to choose from. Prices vary depending on weight and strain. If a patient does not want to consume marijuana by smoking, they have the option of using edibles.
We have various types of edibles ranging from sodas and drinks to butter and peanut butter. We have pre-made cookies.
When entering a dispensary, a patient must show a valid California ID and a medical recommendation in order to fill their prescription.
Average age of the patient that I see come into my dispensary is between the age of 45 to, I'd say, 87.
Although patients can legally purchase marijuana, they can still be charged with possession. There are strict regulations when transporting the drug. Patients should be aware of the local standards when leaving the dispensary. I'm Nicole Ramirez, reporting for Campus Connection.
It really seems like there are a lot of supporters for legalizing medical marijuana. Maybe change is on its way.
It sure looks like it. Talk about change. The transition from high school to college can be tough for some students. Here's reporter Maricela Lopez with Carol Menard Fulthorpe, coordinator of Partners for Success, here at the beach.
Thank you, Carol, for joining us.
Thank you.
So tell us, how did you come to CSULB and what encouraged you to stay here?
I came to the beach in 2000 to earn my master's degree in counseling, specifically student development and higher education. I had a great opportunity to get involved with a protege program, an internship with Student Athlete Services, and after 2.5 years I realized that the student diversity, the high energy, all the different programs and services on campus, and it was something that I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to help students.
Tell us about Partners for Success.
We're very excited to say that the Partners for Success Faculty Mentoring Students program is celebrating its 21st year. It was initiated in 1988 by the current Vice President, Dr. Robinson, with the goal of retention and graduation of first-generation students. First-generation student is someone like myself who may not have parents that earned a college degree, and our parents could be very, very supportive in helping their students to go to college, but they may need just some extra one-on-one guidance and assistance. And we have a team of 43 dedicated, very knowledgeable faculty mentors that work one-on-one with our students and help them from everything from career decision-making to personal adjustments, getting them connected, and maybe even post-grad plans.
Based on your experience, what advice do you have for students?
I'd say the #1 thing is, regardless if you're a freshman or a senior, is to go ahead and get involved. With such a wonderful and large campus, the #1 thing to do is to get connected in something that you're interested in and that you have a special talent or skill that you want to pursue as a leader. We have over 300 clubs and organizations, as an example, that you can get involved in. There's different leadership programs, retreats. And secondly, I would say to go ahead and ask. Go ahead and ask a mentor, a faculty member, fellow students on any type of support services that they may need, because there are people here on this campus that are willing to help you reach your goals. It's just a question of you asking.
In what ways have you helped students?
Every May, I'd have to say every May at commencement is when it just sort of comes back when you see your students that might have come in as a freshman or sophomore, and how they've developed is just the number one thing. Their leadership development, they have post-grad plans, you get to meet their families and their friends, and it's so rewarding to see that maybe in one way, maybe through my position as coordinating the Partners Program and getting them connected with services or a faculty mentor, that I may have assisted in reaching their goal of graduation.
Thank you, Carol, for being here.
Thank you, Maricela. It was an honor.
When we come back, we'll take a look how students are getting fun and healthy break from schoolwork. Don't go anywhere.
It's time to make your career move. With quality training and education from the University of Choice, Cal State Long Beach. Achieve personal and professional excellence by enrolling in career-enhancing programs offered through University College and Extension Services. Courses include computer technology, management, leadership, global transportation, accelerated degree programs, and more. Make your career move now. Call today for your free catalog.
Welcome back to Campus Connection.
With the economy in a downturn, affording a college education seems to be even harder than before. Lydia Ham has more on the story.
Due to this depressing recession, students are wondering if it is still possible to meet the expense of a college education. Some students are even reevaluating their paths to higher education and how to pay for it.
They offered me scholarships, but it still wasn't enough because it was like $15,000 every term. So then I looked up LBCC, and then it was cheaper, and then, yeah, just waiting for my financial aid letter to see what I can do next.
Certainly the prospect of scholarships looms large. You know, if you can get out there, there are places that have enormous amounts of money just to give away. It's amazing. But as I always point out to them, there's a direct correlation between the grades you have and the money you get.
Finding a job during this economic downturn is becoming a more difficult task than some would have imagined. People are cutting back significantly, causing places to go out of business or struggle to stay open. Such promotions as massive sales, stimulus, or discounts are the new advertising catchphrases.
As things started doing a downturn, we actually started up a new fundraiser program. We've already done 4 or 5 of those. They've been huge successes, and we're doing those on our slow nights, the Monday through the Wednesday kind of day, and to really help build business, and it's really helped quite a bit.
Like business owners, students are trying new things to improve their finances.
Well, I'm actually learning how to save now, because before I was actually like just spending my money left and right, and now I'm just like, you know, I'm thinking about my future, you know, so I just put a little money here and there.
If you would like more information on financial aid and ways to fund your education, visit your financial aid advisor or www.fasfa.gov. Reporting for Campus Connection, this is Lydia Ham.
Wow, this recession is a stressful issue. I wish I could get away from all the chaos.
You can. Did you know that Long Beach State Intramurals is a great way to unwind? Each semester, more Long Beach State students are joining the fun. Here's Clay Murray with more details.
The Intramural Sports Program offers more than 15 sports and fitness leagues for students to take advantage of year-round. Players can participate in the usual, commonly played sports, but once in a while the program director adds something new.
Most of the sports, the basketball, the soccer, the volleyball, of course, they're always offered each semester. And then we try to throw something different in, you know, it might be a badminton tournament or something like that we try to stick in, and each semester try to get something new.
But it should come as no surprise that the football and basketball type leagues are the ones to fill up first. According to McDonald, the program usually has a turnout of about 1,600 students per semester. With numbers like that, it's obvious that the program is a hit.
Overall, it's a good thing. I think it's a good way to stay in shape above everything else. I think that's the reason most people are out here, for the competition and to stay in shape.
But on a beautiful Friday, nothing better than playing intramural football.
Intramural sports are offered to all students and even faculty and staff. Whether you've played before or not, there are leagues for everyone.
I've actually never played soccer before. It's just a couple buddies decided, hey, let's play soccer, and they need another person. I play basketball, and I was like, I'll do it.
But the program offers more than just a great way to have fun with friends and to stay in shape. Perhaps more importantly, intramurals help students break from their ordinary routine and discover something new.
When you come to college, you want to study, you want to take care of your business, in the classroom, but I think that you need to venture out and do different things, in order to be a full person. And I think the intramurals helps you become that.
If you're looking for a break from the books and a chance to meet new people, head to the Gold Mine for sign-ups during the first 3 weeks of each semester. I'm Clay Murray, reporting for Campus Connection.
That looks like a great way to stay in shape without paying a lot of money. It seems like everything costs a lot these days.
Yeah, even if you're on a budget. Reporter Jesse Sims has more on affordable ways to stay in shape and eat healthy.
Over the past few months, the multi-billion-dollar health and nutrition industry has taken a fall. Even though people are canceling their pricey gym memberships, it doesn't mean they should stop exercising. That will only lead to weight gain and problems in the future. There are countless ways to stay in shape on a budget.
Anything outside, so running, walking, jogging, whatever term you like to use for it. For running, sneakers can be expensive to get good quality sneakers, but certainly it's easy. You can just leave from your door wherever you live and find a place to go. Walking, and you can always progress into it.
Studies have shown that when you run outside instead of on a treadmill, you will burn 5% more calories. When you are outdoors, there are environmental factors that can challenge your workout. Wind and stairs are among these obstacles that increase the calories you burn due to the resistance they cause. But the real question is, what is the easiest way to maintain an active lifestyle?
I think two things are really important. One is set some goals for yourself. And so if you start getting into an exercise routine, write down those goals, make yourself accountable for them. And then I think the other is find someone to do it with.
Some Cal State Long Beach students are following Professor Dolan's tips.
I actually just picked up running, didn't realize I had the endurance and stamina that I do, and with having a running partner, it makes things much easier.
Along with exercise, nutrition is just as important to maintain a healthy lifestyle. To save some money, head over to your local farmer's market and stock up on fruits and veggies for the week. Shop around the perimeter of a grocery store to avoid buying preservative-filled food. Plan ahead. When you have something to snack on all day, you are less likely to splurge on a quick and easy but unhealthy, inexpensive fix. I'm Jessie Sims reporting for Campus Connection.
When we return, see where LA traffic all began. Stay tuned.
Earn your master's degree in sport management from Cal State Long Beach and get connected to the exciting world of professional, collegiate, and amateur sports. This accelerated and affordable program features acclaimed faculty who are leaders in the business of sport. The courses are scheduled for working students and provide professional networking and internships. Call now to get started. 562-985-2044. Cal State Long Beach, the Center for Sport Management Education in Southern California.
Don't you feel like you spend more time in traffic than actually doing something productive?
Let's take a look at why this issue has gotten worse and what Southern California residents can do to help fix the problem. Here's Adriana Sellers with more.
The average speed on LA freeways is 17 miles per hour. The latest transportation studies show that most Americans spend 36 hours per year stuck in traffic. But in Southern California, the numbers rise to 56 hours per year.
On average, I spend like around 2 to 3 hours daily.
It usually takes me an hour to get to work due to traffic, but on a weekend, it takes me about 35 minutes.
Since LA County is one of the nation's worst areas for traffic congestion, it's led some engineers to believe that fixing the problem is almost impossible.
I think it comes down strictly to population, which has exploded. And, the freeways initially were built 50 years ago. No one had any idea that there would be this many people here. And because we live in a dense urban area, we really can't build any more freeways.
Los Angeles experienced the most rapid population increase of any major city in the nation after World War I. There was no single organization within the city to handle traffic problems.
And the question is, given that you have limited ability to add more freeway, highway capacity on the supply side, well then how do you continue to, deal with this burgeoning growth of traffic demand.
The real issue is getting people to change their behaviors and become less dependent on their cars. The solution to solving traffic problems begins with changing people's behaviors by using other means of transportation. But if you use the bus systems in LA, it can be very confusing and inconvenient.
I would have to ride 3 buses to ride that metro.
There are upcoming projects for freeways and bus systems. However, there are some funding limitations. LA has a long way to go before the freeways start to clear up, but we all have to be committed to alternative ways of commuting. I'm Adriana Sellers reporting from Campus Connection.
Thanks, Adriana. I hope the traffic clears up sooner than later.
Speaking of cutting back, reporter Giovanni Ceballos has more on how to conserve resources in your daily life.
Studies have shown that in the last 15 years, the climate has changed drastically. Global warming is an urgent and serious problem. Continental ice sheets are melting and sea levels are changing rapidly.
With increasing temperatures, we're having sea level rise and the melting of the ice caps in both Greenland and Antarctica. And if the ice caps in Greenland were to completely melt, we'd have up to 6 meters of sea level rise, which would cover a lot of the land area along this coast.
In order to have a healthy community and planet, we need to become sustainable.
Things like conserving resources, and in your daily choices, making sure that you're choosing ways to conserve your resources, reducing waste, maintaining open space and green areas, keeping our water clean, and just personally being healthy and active.
The Office of Sustainability in Long Beach was created to find ways to green our city. It provides leadership and supports practical solutions to improve the environmental, social, and economic health of the city.
Things we would like to see. Reducing our energy consumption, reducing our amount of waste that we send to the landfill, increasing the number of green products we buy.
Some tips on how we can become sustainable and live a greener life is to use less. Avoid buying bottled water, using energy-efficient light bulbs, or simply turning off any lights in the room. Some local areas have already taken action.
We have our reusable bags, and now they make them in all kind of little fun little colors, so it doesn't look like a little just any kind of bag.
Some Long Beach students have also taken action.
When I go grocery shopping, I take my own bags because I know that the paper and the plastic are not good for the environment.
As a community, we can all live a little greener. This is Giovanni Ceballos reporting for Campus Connection.
Thanks, Giovanni. I guess I can change some of my own habits.
With spring right around the corner, fashion students are putting their final touches on the Long Beach State Campus Couture Fashion Show. Nicole Bloom is here with reporter Maisha Jones to tell us more about it.
Thank you for joining us today, Nicole.
Thanks for having me.
Can you explain a little bit about what Campus Couture is?
Yeah, it's the name of CSULB's Fashion Design and Merchandising Department's annual fashion show. It's every year in spring. This year it's the 21st annual show. It's a fully student-run event by merchandising students. They produce the show, and it's all about showcasing the senior design students' designs. It turns into a really big event. It's the largest student-run event on campus. We have people from the industry. We have a couple Project Runway designers coming to this year's show to judge the designs, and then we've got press, and it's sold out every single year. It's in the Carpenter Center.
And what is your role in the show?
This year I'm the assistant coordinator, which kind of means I'm number 2 in the whole production process because I'm right under head coordinator. There's about 6 coordinators chosen by faculty every year to run the show. What I kind of do this year, the positions kind of change a little bit every time, but I'm basically acting as treasurer. I take care of all finances. I also just kind of aid head coordinator in everything that the show. I help the PR coordinator out a lot. I help with fundraising events, and then model auditions. There's just so many aspects, especially our FMD 351 class, which is fashion sales and promotion. In that class, we do a lot of work because half of their grade actually has to do with helping us produce the show.
Okay. As you know, there are many organizations and companies going green. Has any of the fashion design students gone green in the show?
A couple. One that is most prominent in my mind is Jennifer Eldridge. She's a senior designer this year. She tries to incorporate something organic into like almost every single one of her designs, and she's very strong about that. We have a few that like always try to get something organic, but it does get a little hard on a student's budget when you're always constantly buying fabric and notions to go for the more expensive bamboo or hemp or whatever.
Do you think the fashion industry has gone green?
Yeah, definitely to an extent. Even huge lines like Levi's, American Apparel, H&M are all including something organic. So I think it's definitely a huge part of the fashion industry.
In the future of fashion, do you think that green designs will be present?
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's much more of a movement than a trend or fad at this point. I think that many designers see it as being necessary.
And how can we get information on Campus Couture?
There's lots of different ways, but we'd love it if you went to our website. It's campuscouture.org, and there's tons of information on when and where the show is, and we're selling tickets right now.
Thank you, Nicole, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Ever wonder what it would be like to leave everything behind due to natural disasters? Stay tuned for an interview you don't want to miss.
He graduated from one of the best medical schools, walked into a built-in practice. As an Air Force flight surgeon, he's learned that not all battles are fought in the air. And to understand the stresses of high-speed flight, he has to experience them firsthand. So if you want to practice medicine in a more stimulating atmosphere, call 1-800-423-USAF.
Due to the federal government's request, college students aren't going to their favorite spring break destinations this year. Here's reporter Nicole Ramirez with more.
Each spring break, American students head to vacation in places such as Cabo San Lucas, Acapulco, and Cancun. But in the past few years, the U.S. State Department has been warning Americans about the increased violence occurring around some tourist areas in Mexico.
This is something that the Mexican government's been trying to work on for quite some time to tamp down this violence. We thought it was prudent to advise Americans who may be traveling to Mexico and to take extra precautions.
In recent years, dozens of U.S. citizens have been kidnapped across Mexico, and drug cartels have taken more than 6,000 lives since the first 8 weeks of 2009.
It's too risky right now. You'll be kidnapped, shot, different things could happen to you for no reason whatsoever, just because you're there.
For this reason, many students have canceled their Mexican getaways, and travel agencies are steering them toward other vacation spots.
Basically, the organization that we were going through, they felt that it was way too dangerous. And the people we were going with were backing out because they didn't want to risk the chance of anything bad happening. So the organization changed venues, and it was probably the best option that we had because it was a lot safer.
More than 100,000 Americans travel to Mexico for spring break every year. But as of 2007, Californians traveling to Mexico have dropped as much as 60%.
We were lucky to have a tour guide to tell us where to go, where to stay out of, what was safe places to go. Due to the drugs and all of that.
The Department of Travel has set up a perimeter on the Tijuana border in an attempt to keep Americans from entering the city.
The U.S. Customs has set up a checkpoint, and if they find a carload of students, they'll tell them, where are you going? What business do you have there? And they will try to persuade them to turn around and go back to the United States.
If you plan on traveling to Mexico, be sure to familiarize yourself with local laws and take precautions to avoid being a target of crime. This is Nicole Ramirez reporting for Campus Connection.
Thanks, Nicole. We are so lucky to live in California where the weather's perfect all year long.
Yeah. Many students come from all over the United States to attend school here.
One student in particular, Chris Hicks, a Hurricane Katrina survivor, is here to speak with reporter Erica McClarity about his transfer to Long Beach State.
Thank you, Chris, for being here today. Can you describe where you were that day and what happened?
While attending Xavier University in New Orleans as a freshman, on August 30th, 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit our campus. Hurricane Katrina consisted of 180-mile winds and possibly 22 feet of water. I was flooded into my freshman guys' dorms with 22 other men. For 5 days, we went without electricity, running water, and only enough food to last possibly 2 days. On the 5th day, we were rescued through the second-floor window of our dorm and boated to a nearby freeway, where we sat for 14 hours. At the end of that 14 hours, armored vehicles came to pick us up and took us to northern Louisiana.
Now, is there a specific moment that really sticks out to you from that day?
I think a moment that stuck out to me was while waiting for the buses to arrive. When they arrived, they had shattered windows, there was stuff thrown at the trucks, and when we got onto the trucks, the police officer drew his weapon and told us to put our heads between our legs. At this point, a lot of the people on the bus started to cry and break down and pray. The girl that I was sitting next to also did the same. I sat there realizing that there might be a chance I may not see my mother again or people that I love. The reason that these buses were in this condition and the fear of being shot was because of the riot that was taking place in front of the Superdome.
And you transferred to CSULB. Why did you pick CSULB specifically?
I actually wanted to take a semester off, but my mom didn't see the same way. Before I could even come back home, I already was scheduled to come to Long Beach State and speak with a counselor who happens to be my next door neighbor. I've also known her for the majority of my life.
Okay, and what has been the hardest thing mentally about recovering from Hurricane Katrina?
I think the hardest thing would have to be the will to go on in my education and pursue the goals of being a police officer as a profession. Being in New Orleans and seeing the events that take place, I was able to see a lot of people, a lot of locals that lost all of their belongings and lost a lot of their loved ones. And it made me think that life is very precious, so you need to take every chance that you can get.
And being a survivor of Hurricane Katrina, how has that really helped you pursue your own life goals?
Well, ever since the first day I stepped foot in New Orleans at Xavier, I wanted to be a police officer. To this day, I still would love to be a police officer. I just think that the events that happened was just icing on the cake. You know, basically the things that happened to people, the things they lost, law enforcement and National Guard really had to step up and take charge. So now I have a criminal justice major degree and I'm graduating May 27th.
Okay. And my last question for you today is, what is New Orleans like? Do they still need help?
As far as the main city downtown area, as far as the French Quarter, they've been refurbished completely. The city is back up to par and is booming. But as far as the 9th Ward, where my school was located, that area is still very damaged from Hurricane Katrina.
Okay, well, Chris, I want to thank you very much for your inspirational interview today.
Thank you.
Back to you, ladies.
We wish Chris best of luck.
That's all we have for this time. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Campus Connection. With that, I'm Chasta Nekvatal.
And I'm Ariel Yamin. See you at the beach.